Hello friends, this is Sagar from Sri Venkateshwar College of Engineering. Today I am going to discuss about the software testing topic, that is the data flow testing. Let's start with the introduction. Data flow testing is a white box testing technique that focuses on the parts of the data in the software program. The primary object is to ensure that the data is properly processed and transferred throughout the program's execution. The primary technique of this data flow testing is it tests whether the objective is to ensure the idea is properly processed and transferred throughout the program or execution or not. This technique identifies and tests various data flow parts within the program, aiming to uncover the defects related to how data is manipulated, stored, and transferred. In the data flow testing, the program is modeled as a graph where the nodes represent the program variables or the data elements and the edges represents the flow of data between these variables. There are different strategies of the data flow testing such as all DU part testing. It involves the testing all the possible paths from the definitions of the variable where it is assessed as a value and to its use where it is read or accessed. All def paths testing. It involves the testing of all the possible paths from the definition of the variable to its subsequent definitions. Next one is all C using paths testing. It involves the testing all the possible paths from the definitions of the variable to all these users. Next one is the all P use path testing. It involves the testing of all the possible paths of the definition of the variable to all its potential users. There are four types, that is all DU path testing, all def path testing, all C path testing, all P using path testing. In all DU path testing, the definition variable to use it was been tested. In all def path testing, variables to its subsequent definitions has been tested. All C path testing, here the variable to all its use has been tested. All P path testing, here the variable to all its potential users has been tested. Use testing, on the other hand, is a technique that focuses on the validation the correct use of the software application from an end user perspective. The primary objective is use testing is to ensure the software meets the requirements and the expectations of its intended users. In use testing, real or representative users interact with the software in the realistic environment, performing the tasks and the scenarios that are typical to the software's intended use. This testing can take various forms. The various forms of testing includes alpha testing, beta testing, acceptance testing, usability testings. Let us see the alpha testing. It involves the testing of the software in a controlled environment, typically by internal testing before releasing it to the external users. Now let us see the beta testing. It involves the releasing the software to the selected group of the external users to gather the feedback and identify the issue before the final release. Acceptance testing. It involves the validating whether the software meets the acceptance criteria specified by the stakeholders. Usability testing. It focuses on accessing the ease of use and user friendliness of the software. Now let us see the data flow testing diagram. Here select a pair of DU, then it goes to the test data generation, and next it tests the input T. It tests the input T. Is DU is covered? Is DU is covered, then it is true, then it goes to the test suite T. If it is false, it goes to the def use pair set S. If it is true, then it goes to the test suite T and input program P. Then it goes to the data flow analysis. Then it finally goes to the def use pair set S. Now let us see the data flow testing coverage criteria. All users coverage criteria, all DU parts coverage, all P users coverage, all def coverage. Now let us see the first one, all users coverage. Ensures that all the users of the variables have been covered by at least one test case. All DU path coverage ensures that all possible paths from the definition to use of a variable are been covered. All all P users coverage ensures that all possible uses of the variable includes the potential ones are covered. All def coverage ensures that all the possible definitions of a variable has been covered. Now let us see the advantages and the disadvantages. What are all the advantages? It helps in the detecting the potential data flow anomalies like uninitialized variables, redundant assignments, and unreachable code. Can identify the vulnerabilities related to the data corruption, unauthorized accesses, or the leakage. Now let us see the disadvantages, that is limitations. Complexity. Data flow testing can be complex and time consuming, especially for the large programs with numerous data flows. Difficulty in achieving the complete coverage. Achieving complete data flow coverage is often impractical due to the exponential number of the variable paths may not detect all the types of data. While it's good at detecting data flow related issues, it may miss other types of defects. Now let us see the use testing diagram. Here in the diagram there is a user and actions. For one user there is a three action, that is withdrawal funds, balance inquiry, and balance transfer. Now let us see the types of the use testing. There is a alpha testing, beta testing, acceptance testing, usability testing, compatibility testing, accessibility testing. Alpha testing performed in a controlled environment by internal testers before the software is released. Beta testing conducted by the releasing the software to a limited number of external users to gather the feedback before the final release. Acceptance testing ensures that the software meets the acceptance criteria specialized by the stakeholders. Usability testing focuses on the case of use intuitiveness and user friendliness of the software. Compatibility testing checks how well the software works across the different devices, browsers, and operating systems. Accessibility testing ensures that the software is usable by people with disabilities. Now let us see what are all the methods. Scenario based testing, exploratory testing, A/B testing, crowd testing. Scenario based testing. Testing perform predefined scenarios representing the typical user interactions. Exploratory testing. Testers explore the software freely to uncover the unexpected issues. A/B testing compares two versions of the software to see which performs better in terms of user engagement or the conversation types. Crowd testing involves outsourcing. Outsourcing testing takes to a large group of testers, often from the diverse backgrounds and locations. Now let us see the benefits. Identifies the issues that are difficult to detect through the automated testing alone, such as usability problems and real-world compatibility issues. Provides valuable feedback from the actual users, helping to improve the use specification and provide the quality. Helps in validating whether the software meets the intended purpose and requirement from the user's perspective. That's it for today's session. See you guys in the next video.